Hello everyone, this is War Factory. Today we continue our series, Reaching for the Moon, Iranian Weapons in Warfare. When talking about Iranian loitering munitions, the first thing that comes to mind is the one commonly nicknamed the Little Moped, which gained attention in the Russia-Ukraine conflict and became widely recognized, the Shahed 136. Aside from the Shahed 136 used by the Revolutionary Guard, Iran's regular military also has its own line of loitering munitions. This is what we will talk about today, the Arash. The history of Arash can be traced back to 2015. That year, Iran's armed forces publicly revealed the Kian-1 air defense target drone. This drone adopted a classic subsonic layout, featuring a flat fuselage, a single vertical tail, and a delta wing design. It used dual solid rocket boosters for launch, with a small turbojet as its main propulsion. Its cruising speed was 350 kilometers per hour, and its maximum altitude was 5,500 meters. This system allowed the military to move away from long-term reliance on imported MQM-107 target drones and domestic Qadar systems for air defense training. Since Kian-1 could be used as an aerial target, why not convert it into a strike weapon? The military expanded the wingspan of Kian-1 to 3.5 to 4 meters and extended the fuselage to 4.5 meters to carry more fuel, increasing its range to 1,000 kilometers. A 10-kilogram warhead was added to the nose, along with anti-radiation capability. The result of these modifications was the Kian-2 loitering munition, unveiled in 2019. Although Kian-2 looked promising, the military was still not satisfied. First, it still used a small turbojet engine. Unlike certain countries that can mass-produce inexpensive engines, this limitation affected both cost and production capacity. Second, although its range exceeded 1,000 kilometers, it was still insufficient for long-distance strategic targets such as Israel. To significantly extend range, reduce production bottlenecks, and maintain manageable costs, the military continued improving the design. They retained the size of Kian-2, but replaced the engine with a 4-cylinder, 50-horsepower gasoline engine. This type of engine could be mass-produced at a wholesale price of around $36,000 per unit. Although the speed dropped to 185 kilometers per hour and the ceiling to 3,600 meters, the range increased to 2,000 kilometers, allowing coverage of Israel. This became the Arash, which was publicly revealed and entered service in 2020. Arash has multiple launch methods. It can be launched from integrated container systems mounted on light trucks, placed in parallel on flatbed trailers, launched from simple ground frames, or even deployed from landing ships. It is worth mentioning that a foldable wing design was originally developed to fit into launch containers. However, based on later exercises and footage, this design, along with the container system, appears to have been abandoned due to complexity and limited effectiveness. After entering service in 2020, Arash participated in multiple exercises and was rumored for export, but like the Shahed 136, it primarily served domestically. Following the outbreak of the 2025 conflict, Arash was used operationally for the first time. However, its reliability during that conflict was inconsistent, with various failure modes. Some units deviated off course, some landed in unintended regions, and others even crashed within Iran itself. After the conflict, official military assessments led to improvements and upgrades to Arash. On February 28, 2026, following the outbreak of a new conflict, Arash was deployed at a rate of 1 to 2 waves per day in strikes against Israel and Gulf countries. There is already footage showing successful hits, and one incident even caused a minor diplomatic tension after impacting near Azerbaijan. In this conflict, Arash's reliability has improved, with no visible evidence of major failures so far. However, Arash is not without shortcomings. Its base guidance system relies mainly on inertial navigation combined with satellite guidance. An upgraded version includes an electro-optical seeker that allows mid-course correction and target switching, but due to cost and production limits, it has not been widely deployed. Most operational drones still use the basic guidance system, which has relatively limited resistance to electronic interference. Iran's limited real-time communication capabilities also mean that Arash missions are typically pre-programmed. After launch, the drone relies entirely on its onboard guidance to reach the target, lacking the dynamic loitering and re-engagement capability typical of more advanced loitering munitions. In many ways, it functions more like a low-cost cruise missile. Despite this, Arash remains an important part of Iran's long-range strike system, and its importance is expected to grow further. For Iran as a whole, sustained airstrikes would likely reduce the production of advanced solid-fuel missiles. However, Arash has a simple structure, consisting mainly of a warhead, avionics compartment, fuel tank, and engine, making it easier to produce and assemble. This allows rapid recovery and expansion of production capacity. For Iran's military, long-range strike options are limited to air power, cruise missiles, and unmanned systems. Although the Air Force conducted early operations using F-4 aircraft in high-risk missions, the effectiveness of those operations remains questionable, and continued losses made sustained air operations impractical. Missiles, on the other hand, are expensive and cannot be used in large quantities. As a result, Arash has effectively become the military's primary long-range strike option. Under both national-level constraints and military operational realities, Arash will continue to quietly carry a significant role, becoming one of the symbols of Iran's resistance capability. It demonstrates to the world the determination of Iran and its defense forces. As the saying goes, the fate of a weapon system depends not only on its specifications, but also on the course of history. That's all for this episode. If you have anything you'd like to discuss or any weapons you want me to cover, feel free to leave a comment. Please also like, save, and support the channel. Your support is the biggest motivation for me to keep creating. See you in the next episode.